You know, we all think of anti-poaching as simply a few game rangers walking around in a wildlife area and think that that's going to keep it intact. Well, the reality is, as the human population has grown, the cost of keeping wildlife safe has gone much, much higher than it used to be. In the old days, there were so much less people and so much more wildlife that anti-poaching wasn't such a big part of the conservation conversation. Right now, there's got to be 4 or 5 different components to anti-poaching if you're going to see it succeed. So first of all, you've got to have some form of community benefit. And even though that's not strictly anti-poaching, it really is very important that the community benefits from the wildlife and understands that they get better benefit if the wildlife stays healthy. So that's one thing. The next layer above that, you've got to have a good informer network, a good network of people that are working for you but don't appear to be working for you and are going to keep you informed of happenings and chatterings in amongst the community. And, you know, generally across Africa, Africans are very social people, and, you know, a little bit of alcohol around the bar and those tongues wag, and if you've got the right informer network, you're going to get a good heads up as to what's really coming your way. Then thirdly, you've got to have a good team of guys on the ground. Those are truly the boots on the ground. That's the most visible part of anti-poaching, and those are the guys that are going to be out there on patrols. They're going to be finding tracks, they're going to be removing tracks, and hopefully catching a few poachers as well. And then if there is the budget for it, you've got a higher level of protection, which is either your aerial or your canine or your high-tech units, your units of quick reaction squads, which come in with either helicopters or airplanes or fast-tracking dogs on a line or free-running dogs off the line, or all of that element of it. So really, when you look at anti-poaching, there's a lot more that goes into it in today's modern age than used to go in, say, 20, 30, 40 years ago, where it was a few game rangers on the ground and that was enough deterrent. And I think that really it's a sign of, A, this increasing value in wildlife products in the form of rhino horn and ivory that makes the stakes so much infinitely higher. And it's also this huge, huge human population, all of which you've got mouths that need to feed. And, you know, with this explosion in the human element, they're looking to the wildlife as a food source. And so really anti-poaching becomes this very holistic approach to protecting a wildlife area, but it takes a huge amount of money. And so anti-poaching is a term that's used very lightly, but in fact, to carry it out effectively, very, very complicated. Let me know what you think about anti-poaching.